They'll be calling you a radical. I want to get this up before I get to the Capitol today. I'm headed down there. It's going to be a big couple days. I'm your last stand in Utah. That's all I got to tell you. Me and the governor. Either he vetoes this nuclear waste. Talk about communism, socialism, capitalism. You can't even spell it. So the ignorance of this place. So Utah's developing a bill to teach the failed systems of communism and socialism. What? You think this is capitalism? This is militarism. This is cronyism. There's more redistribution of wealth right here, right now, in this country than in the history of mankind. Where does it go? The military. Corporate. Elites. This has nothing to do with capitalism. China communism? They're not even close. They're the same system as we are. Globalism? It's neo-feudalism. So let's talk about the Mormon roots were communism. They called themselves the Great Communists. They were communists for 150 years. Failed? No, did not follow. Let's talk about this socialism. Europe socialism? Oh, yeah. Go over there. They're most socialized people in the history of the country, in the history of the world. Second. Go to Austria. Go to Italy. Go to the Netherlands. Go to these places. They're socialists. Their quality of life, the middle class quality of life is so incredible high in Europe right now. It is staggering. In fact, in the Netherlands right now, they're having a debate on the comfortability problem because their middle class is that comfortable. It's taken away, they say, maybe some but. So let's talk about here in the United States. Let's talk about the world. Socialism. Class, I used to say this in my class, I taught it the #1 graduate program in the world. From 2000 to 2005. Class, name me the most socialized, strongest middle class in human history. Oh, it's people spewed up, maybe European countries now, certain ones. Austria, oh yeah. Italy, Netherlands, France. What about along the Silk Road, 1st century, 2nd century, 1st century? India, oh yeah, way up there. Probably 3rd. Who's #1? Once in a while, it's shooting to get it right. 1945 to 1979, the United States of America, the most socialized people in the history of mankind, failed. Let's review this. From 45, they came off the Great Depression. The so-called capitalist paradigm, the militarism paradigm, come tumbling down. The depression of the 1930s was so horrific in this country, I think people have no clue. These depressionary people have gotten old and died. Oh, they knew what it was. They knew what it felt like to literally starve to death. People were starving to death. Women with children huddled in freaking doorways. Unemployment rate well over 50% in lots of cities, including here in Ogden. It's catastrophic. Destroyed. Death, suicide off the hook. It was. So the counter came across. The Great Wars. 1945 to 1979, the United States, increasing nominal wages. 1980, JFK blown away? No, John Lennon blown away. What else do I have to say? Rockefeller's baby. Russell's baby. Rosemary's baby. 1980. Reagan. May Brussels, 1980. Carmel, California. Kids, the Bush CIAs occupied the White House. They will never leave. First thing they do was whack Reagan. The purple president, the Democrat from California, who changed from D to R, which they do now. Same thing, corporatist. Change the world? Oh yeah. First thing he did was break the freaking air traffic controllers. From 1980 to present, decreasing nominal wages. Is that even possible? Is that even possible they could decrease for 39 consecutive years? Yeah. What do you think the whole border thing is nothing more than it's bait, but the whole thing, it's about cheap labor. The people that scream the loudest are the ones that exploit it the hardest. Look at the debt. Look at the debt. We have $22 trillion in debt. Oh, just walk away from it. Okay, let's talk about hours worked. When I was a kid growing up here, they would show us propaganda films that would talk about the Japanese. These are workaholics. They work, these people. They actually stay at the job, some of these people. These people work up to 60 hours a week. What? We're way past that. Let's talk about rent to hourly wage. That matrix has been around for hundreds of years, many hundreds of years in the world. The most out of whack, highest wage to rent in the history of humankind. The United States of America, right now, right here, right now, today. I mean, the average rent in this medium house prices, taxation. Look at property taxes. The redistribution of the highest. You seen this budget? How many trillions is this budget? Where does it go? Where does it go? So, what is socialism, capitalism, communism? Socialism, communism by definition. Now, you got tricked thinking that Russia was somehow, they were the Bolsheviks. I mean, that whole thing with Lenin, but Stalin, Stillman, came in, took that over, and he systematically took, they were called the whites, systematically killed them all. Right, last one, Trotsky to the head. Mexico, last communist. He killed them all. That was militarism. What is the United States? It's a blend between militarism and corporatism. Rush hour, for instance. I remember when there was a big debate in this country about rush hour being before 9 o'clock. Not very long. Now it's 8. No, it's 7. No, it's 6. No, it's 5. No, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. People working 2, 3 jobs. Grown. I mean, okay, let's talk about longevity, how long you're living. People are living less than they were longevity's head aside. Let's talk away about addiction, suicide, overdoses. You think people that are taking Oxycontins are happy? I mean, dropping like flies. Homeless. Let's talk about homeless. Out of control. Go to the center. I mean, out of control. People living in their cars. I mean, this place is a nightmare. Capitalism? This isn't capitalism. This is neo-feudalism. It's exactly what it is. Socialism. Let's go to communism. Communism, by definition, means that all the wealth is centrally located and redistributed. Now, the Mormons practice this. Brigham City, they practiced for 150 years. My grandfather's Abraham Hunsaker IV, the Hunsaker Mill. 100% redistribution of wealth. That's how the Mormon Church was founded. That's how the Mormon Church ran for many, 150 years they ran just like that. It was still that way when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my grandfather ran the church welfare farms out here. You know, that's the way it was. Everybody worked on them, everybody shared. That's the way it was. They had their own monetary system, they had their own thing, they had their own mercantiles, ECMI. That's how they ran. They were communists. China communists? No. Were they at one point? Yeah. They're not now. They're corporates. They're globalist. You know, they're neo-feudalism. I mean, it's a monarchy of royal families around the world that have indoctrinated these dumb sheep. So you can tell me that this system's so great? Ha! Every matrix you could ever go up and down, rank and file, the United States ranks so low, it's unbelievable. The quality of life here is pathetic. How about environmentally? How about the cancer rates? How about heart attack? How about stroke? I won't stop there. I'll go. How about obesity? I mean, self-internalization of the strife. I mean, you name it. How about the prison population? It's the greatest in the world by billions of times. Per capita. We're not even talking just in the aggregate. You're telling me how great this system is, and you're going to say, oh, we're going to promote how failed socialism? The happiest people in the history of this fucking country, the strongest middle class in world history. They were socialists. The United States of America in 1945 to 1978 were hardcore socialists. The tax rate on the 1% was 95%. 400% tariffs on it. There was, what do you think everything was GM and Ford? By the way, all the famous artists, you know, the abstract expressionists, fucking Warhol included, every one of them, Pollock, every one of them, were on the government dime. The WPA, the CCC, they paid artists. Where do you think all that came from, that beautiful design? Think about the cars we drove in the 60s, 50s, 70s. Think about art, culture. Think about the music. Ha! Still the greatest in the world because everyone had time. So you tell me this is so great. Capitalism? And then, I'm going to do another video. I'm going to talk about the scumbag Utah Jazz, and they need to have their franchise taken away. I know Donovan Mitchell personally. I rode on the plane with Donovan from Brooklyn to here together. I've known him since Brooklyn. My daughter used to be one of his neighbors. This incident's going in Utah. It happens all the time. I told Donovan, he was coming here, I said, you like Utah? This is before his rookie year. He'd been here. He says, yeah, I like it. He's fantastic. He's a gem. The amount of money they make is disturbing. It's disgusting. Yeah, my grandson's 2011 babies. My old coach told me here a little while ago, he says, the one grandson of yours, they're both athletes. Incredible. And he says, I got to tell you, Kevin, I've coached for going on 50 years. He's one of my coaches when I was a kid. He's still around. His grandson plays with my grandson. They're 7. He says, that's the best athlete at that age I've ever seen. He loves basketball. Can't take him to a game. What do you say? Oh, he has brothers and sisters. He has a mom and dad. Let's take the family to a Jazz game, spend $1,000 to watch a horrible product. They suck, by the way. The coach sucks. The whole product sucks. Post-2000, they suck. Larry Miller, once he died, it was over. Jerry Sloan, I got a really great story about Bobby Sloan. I used to sit with Bobby Sloan. I know Bobby Sloan really great. She was a gem. So Jerry Sloan had a mistress. I went to school with her. Real gold-digging whore, disgusting pig. And so when Bobby Sloan, right as Jordan hit that shot, cancer came back on her in pancreas. She died. Energy Solutions Arena. Think about that. She should have never came out here to this poisoned place. They're going to bring nuclear waste. Talk about communism. Talk about freaking cronyism. Talk about neo-feudalism. Little nuclear reactors in Utah. I'll be down there protesting today and tomorrow because the session ends up. The Ides of March are upon you, Governor Herbert. So, this gold-digging whore, after she died, got a hold of Jerry. Jerry's got dementia now. Jerry Sloan saved everything. Everything. She just went through all her stuff and just threw it into an auction. People showed up at this auction. I went. People didn't even know what it was. Just boxes. I'm going to them all. Hey. So I go to the Jazz. You got to buy this stuff. I ended up with a couple things. Karl Malone's highest scoring game. I believe he had 68 points. I have that. Hers. All her. She packaged everything. I have a bunch of her stuff. I didn't have much money. But I end up, because I have knowledge, and I knew the Michael Jordan flu game. I looked for it, and a guy had bought it. So I'll give you $50 for that right now out of that thing. That's all I had. Okay, I have it. I went to the Jazz, and I says, I have lots of stuff. I had season tickets the first year the Jazz were here. $179 for the year. 79. Every time I played for games for them. They were horrible. It was a great product. Battistone Hunt. I remember we boycotted because he changed beers from $1 to $1.20. Now they have beer police. So this fan is, so I'm with Donovan, and I said, Donovan, the fan base there is horrific. They're racist. They scream. They yell. They get in players' face. I said, for instance, last year, did you see this spring when they were playing Golden State in the playoffs? I think it was 8 seed against 1 or 2 against 7. Jazz always eke in if they get lucky. They suck. The coach sucks. The whole product sucks. It's a disturbing nightmare, and the crowd sucks. And I'm like, you see those 2 fans up in the front row screaming and yelling at Kevin Durant, getting in his face? Yeah, I did. And I said, Durant scored the last 15 points of the game, unanswered. Boom, boom. Donovan Mitchell to Kevin Blanch. Don't feed the lion. He says, yeah. So, we and some other people, we go down there and we sit and watch the Jumbotron in front. We boycott them. We root against them. We're ex-Jazz fans. Malone, Stockton. Ricky Green. Mark Eaton. The Ladens. When the Ladens went, the Jazz went. Frank Layden Jim. Who do you think found Stockton, number 16 draft? It's like Jordan went 3. Everybody says, no, Jordan went number 3, not 2. He went 3 in that draft. Hakeem Olajuwon. What a great player he was. How about 2, Sam Bowie? Jordan. The shot ticket. So I got those 2. I knew what to look for, and I'm like, hey, I'll give you $50 for those. This 97 flu game, I have it. Jerry Sloan. It's the thing. I went to the Jazz. I have this incredible collection I've been collecting since I was a kid. And I says, not interested. Huh. So we're down there last year protesting the ticket prices, the usury, the decadence of usury, the whole product is so sickly. Rooting against them, they're playing Houston. Same incident happened to Chris Paul. Exact same, not the same guy, a different group. There's tons of these are racist people here. You know, and they think these echo, but not all of them. And there's a lot of wonderful people here, and we have a rich tradition of professional basketball. I mean, Utah Stars. I mean, great fans, incredible fans, but they're all dying and going away. Great college basketball. I mean, this is a basketball place. It was. The Mormon Church used to sponsor it. They used to do a good job. Larry Miller was a gem with it. You know, his family, they're just disturbing. Same thing happened to Chris Paul. I'm like, don't feed the lion. You can watch the video. I'm out front. Don't feed the lion. I'm screaming, don't feed. I'm laughing. Next game, they go back to Houston. Chris Paul, career high. This punk ass gets in Westbrook's face. I'd like to see him in the streets of Brooklyn, anywhere where these players come from. I would love to see him run his fucking mouth like that there to this guy. These are the best fucking athletes on fucking earth. You know what he would physically do to this punk? I mean, snap him in pieces. But he thinks he's got this shield because the fucking Utah Jazz and this culture and the Miller family protect scumbags like this. I told Donovan the best thing you do is request it, but he loves it here. You know, he doesn't know about the energy solutions thing. He'll learn. He's learning the hard way, I think, now. He made a great statement. I'll post it. That socialism sure worked from 45 to 79 in this country. Strongest middle class in human history. You're going to tell us how it failed? This system we have right now, whatever the fuck it is, you're in capitalism. It's the greatest failure in human history. TikTok. You seen this fucking debt? Oh, the wall's going to come tumbling down. This is a Ponzi scheme. Built up on a house of fucking cards. On a 0% fucking Ayn Rand Greenspan fairy tale. It's a fucking loot job. And you're fucking going along. You're willing to work. Fucking you trade in your health for some asshole, oligarch Bill Gates, fucking Jeff Bezos, fucking scumbaggery, fucking looted fucking whoredoms wealth. Stay tuned. We need a minor league fucking basketball team here. I'd like to start one. You know, a new one, completely different, where the maximum salary is $100,000, you know, and they all make the same amount of money, you know. And by the way, my favorite player that ever played for the Jazz, Ricky Green, the fastest man, my favorite Utah Jazz person by far, hot rod only. Horny for three! That guy was a fucking gem. I knew him personally. He was the fucking greatest. What a mind that fucker had. What an athlete. What a player. Watch the highlights of him when he played. His famous line, he'd say, I remember when Elgin Baylor and I combined for 75 points. Of course, Elgin had 71. Stand tuned. Fuck the Utah Jazz, you scumbag racist creeps. The NBA needs to take their franchise.